Test 1, 2. Good to go. Go? All right. Welcome to the vBrownbag Talks. I'm Jaison Bailley, and I'm here to talk about the vBrisket community that we're running here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and how the vBrisket started. I'm going to start from the beginning, and we're like the vMug, but we do things a little bit differently. We smoke meat. We brew our own beer. We have content that we bring to the community. We have probably about 40 to 60 people that come to our events. So, and how it all started was last year here at VMworld. I was at the booth at Data Gravity, and Data Gravity was giving away a port replicator, a mini port replicator, and a printer with media. So, you know, out of the blue, I was coming down off of Moscone West. Dave Siles comes up to me, points at the button on my chest, and I won this 3D printer. So I win a 3D printer, and I'm thinking, this is a really cool prize. But, you know, I'm just going to make some trinket. My kids are going to make something, and I'm not going to get any value out of it. So out of that, I talked to my folks at my company, and we were a design and development company, and they were looking for a 3D printer already. So he was like, I'll definitely buy that off you, the media. So I turned that 3D printer into a smoker, and that's where the vBrisket really all began. So I got my smoker. I'm in Pittsburgh. You know, you don't think of smoked meat in Pittsburgh. You think of steel, I'm sure, maybe the Steelers, maybe the Pirates, Penguins. So, you know, I get my smoker. I want to smoke some meat. I really know nothing about it. So I use YouTube and look at a bunch of internet pages just to learn how to do it. There's a ton of information out there, just like our user groups that we have every day within the Twitter community, with the VMware community. So I reached out to that community, and I learned how to smoke meat. So from there, I smoked my first brisket, and my buddy Gabe here, he was my cohort in crime there for the vBrisket. He was the one that pushed me and made me accountable for what I was saying. So I smoked my first brisket. It was good. It wasn't my best brisket by any means, and they have gotten better. But as you can see from the Twitter feed, you know, Gabe held me accountable for you know, I made my first brisket, and I said, hey, we might have to rename this the vBrisket. And from there, we have our group of leaders. So our group of leaders are myself, there's Gabe Mentz, there's Clint Wyckoff, and there's John Brescia. So we're the ones that do all the legwork. There's design from the website to Twitter, you know, to smoking the meat and helping do the panel discussions and such that we do with our events. So from there, we had our first event. So again, Gabe, out of the blue, he said, you were talking about this vBrisket, let's do it. And I said, yeah, we can do that. It was November, and you know, typically you're not going to be able to take meat into an established restaurant or a bar because they're already selling food. So Gabe calls me out of the blue, and he's like, I found a place for this event. So, you know, it came real right then and there that, you know, this is going to happen and we're going to have to do it. So we had our first event. We just had a community get together with some folks. We brought no content to the table that day. We just had barbecue and good discussions within the group, and we had it at a meadery. Actually, they allowed us to bring our food in because they didn't sell it. So that was the beginning of the vBrisket, the first one we had. So, you know, we had some thoughts. You know, we can do something more with this. It's not just about barbecue and getting together and drinking beer, but there's nothing wrong with that either. So one of our first presentations was Michael White from Data Gravity. He was a former VMware employee. Michael, he was in the area. We went to Penn Brewery, and it was a great event. He talked about home labs and different types of home labs that everybody has, and whether it was nested virtualization or running Fusion or a home lab with 3 hosts in it. He discussed a home lab on that. So it was a great discussion. We had 20 guys show up with 3 or 4 inches of snow that day in Pittsburgh. So we had a lot of fun with that event. So that was our first content-driven event, and we were trying to think what else can we do with the vBrisket in Pittsburgh. So with that, what we did a DR and a backup plan discussion, and honestly, it was probably one of the best discussions within a user group that we've had. Everybody interacted within the audience. We had, it ran probably an hour. It was probably a half an hour presentation discussion, which turned into an hour. We didn't have food at this one, but we had great content discussion, and the vBrisket community just continues to grow from there. So our next event, what we did, and there was definitely food at this one, as you can see. We had some rock stars in the community come out for that one, and Gabe was our moderator for that event. I did all the cooking, and everybody pitched in. All the leaders helped out in that event. We had Rick Vanover from Veeam come out. We had Matt Brender from Basho, Mike Colson from EMC. We had Justin Lauer, and we had another local guy, Toby Meyer, within the Pittsburgh area. He came out and was a part of that group also. So, we had a great time with those guys. We learned a lot. We, heard Rick Vanover talk about his career development, and everybody they shared their insight of how they went from a lower job into one of the higher tiered SE jobs or developer jobs, and just how their career changed, and shared within our community, and it was a great time, and we had a great time, and we made new friends, and I think that's what the vBrisket community is all about. So to build onto that, our last one that we did, Tim Antonowitz, he came out. You might have heard of him. He's a VCDX, and he came out and did a discussion on certifications. So he broke down from the VCP level to the Microsoft level to the VCDX journey to the VCAP journey. We changed the menu up on this one. We did brisket, which we always do because we're vBrisket, so we can't do it without brisket. But we did chicken wings, and we did pulled pork nachos, some cornbread. John Brescia made some sides for us, and we had some more beer. So we had a really good time with it. Pernix Data got us the cups there, and we get sponsors for the events too. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors for those events because they pay for them all. We've had Pernix, we've had Tintry. Data Gravity's been a great supporter from the get-go. And I guess without Data Gravity, the vBrisket never happens because I don't get the port replicator at VMworld last year, and it doesn't turn into a smoker, which turned into vBrisket. Pure bought us a smoker. Pernix Data, I think I also mentioned, and we're just continuing to go with that. So with all the momentum we've had, with all the fun we've had, the community that we're building up, we decided. We talked about doing a party at VMworld, but Clint Wyckoff was instrumental on getting this party put together. We have some great sponsors for that. Data Gravity, again, they're a sponsor. Expedient's a sponsor. Nexan and Veeam. So those are all the sponsors for the VMworld vBrisket Party. We're closing down a restaurant about 10-minute Uber ride from here, I believe. We're sold out, unfortunately. But keep an eye on the @vBrisket @vBrisket Twitter handle, and we all know how busy it gets out here. So if we do have some openings, we're not going to turn anybody away. So everybody's busy out here, and we might have people coming in for a half an hour and leaving, and we'll keep as many people in there as we possibly can. So big thanks to our sponsors because we can't do it without them, and we really appreciate them. And to add to the vBrisket, these guys talked me into running. You can tell by my body physique that I shouldn't be running at all. So I did the fun run, and we had a great time with it. John does our artwork. He does a great job with our artwork. He got some shirts made, V Meat sweats on the front of them when we were running. We had a real fun time with that also. So that's all I have. Thanks for having me, and if you can make the vBrisket tonight, keep an eye on Twitter, and we'll see if we can get you there. Thanks a lot, guys.